Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out another episode of Drinks with Johnny. I am joined today via Skype from the very talented actor, Mr. Ethan Embry. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing really good.
It looks like you're doing
really
great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for doing the show, man. Looks like you're doing great. You got your dog next to you? What's
I do.
Is that a he or a her? I can't see the bottom here.
It's a girl. This
Okay.
is a girl. This is Cedar. Yeah. We found her on the mean streets of Mexico in Tecate.
Wow.
And she's been with us for 3 years now, and I'm still waiting for the moment that she decides to eat my face in my sleep.
She's going to have to get through quite a bit of beard there, it looks like.
Doesn't she look like she kind of wants to eat my face, though?
I mean, a little bit. She's definitely thinking about it. It's great to have a dog like that living next to you, that close. Speaking of that close, you before you came on the show, I recently learned that you're living in a van right now.
We are living in a van. Yes. I grew up, born and raised Los Angeles, Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And last year we managed to save a little bit of money, but not enough money to buy a house in Southern California. So my wife and I decided to move closer to her family out in Georgia.
Okay.
But we also knew that we would have to be in Los Angeles for work.
Yeah.
A lot of the times. So we went on a hunt, and van life, hashtag van life, is a popular thing these days.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
And so we got lucky and found a really good deal on one that should have been a lot more expensive. And last year we were in it for 6 months while we were working, and then this year we're going to be in it for 7 months.
Oh shit!
Which is crazy. I'll show you.
Let me see this thing.
Turn this thing around.
I gotta check this bad boy out.
Flip this. Is it this button? No, that's how you take a picture.
Yeah, this is awesome. For all of us watching right now, we're trying to figure out.
I'm just gonna turn the camera around instead of that.
Okay. Right. Oh wow, that is no normal van.
You've got your kitchen with a 2-burner stove.
Nice.
All right. You got a refrigerator. We built this little entertainment setup right here.
Nice.
You know? Fridge. There's a bathroom. Let me see if I can.
Can you make it over?
I'll show you. Yeah, this is the hardest part of living in the van is shitting where you shower.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
I do see that. Know? And the shower's behind that as well?
The shower is like right there. So there's no room. You literally you shit in the shower.
You can multitask that way though.
I call it the walk-in bidet.
No better way to get clean.
Yeah. And then this year because we want with the dog, it can get cramped. Once you acclimate to it, it's okay. So there's 2 people, 2 adults, and then this 60-pound mutt in here. And when you acclimate, as long as the 2 people are getting along, it's not bad. You acclimate pretty quick. It's kind of like prison.
Well, I don't have any experience on that one, but I will say I have experience on a tour bus, and the way you have it set up is very.
Yes.
It's like a tour bus for just 2 rather than a bunch of dudes all in the same spot.
Exactly.
I'm sure it's a lot nicer having your wife too. It brings a nicer smell than we're used to on the road with just a bunch of dudes out there.
I am the lucky one of that relationship because she's the one having to deal with smells as far as that goes.
Yeah.
But we've got 2. I'll show you later this. So in Europe, the van life community have started making these tents. They're like air beam tents that connect to the awning on your van. So we have like a little living room tent set up out there. Rad.
Yeah, I've seen
that. And she's out there doing yoga right now. It's pretty dope.
Oh, so that's why you're not showing us right now. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I'm going to let her finish her yoga.
Yeah. So you mentioned the tent room. I love it. So you mentioned growing up, born and raised in L.A., Orange County area.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that it's actually Huntington Beach where I'm born and raised and where I'm actually doing my Skype from right now.
So the Huntington Beach thing, I think, because that's been out there for a long time. I did go to Huntington Beach a lot as a kid. I'd go surfing down there. We'd take the LA River. The closest I've ever gotten to living in Huntington Beach was when I lived in Bellflower, which is right there on the Orange Crush.
Yeah, Long Beach, yeah.
Just north of Long Beach. still on the west side of the 605.
Yeah.
But I lived in Huntington Park for a long time.
Oh, so that's how it all got confused there.
There's two ways that I think I could see myself as a youngster being ashamed of saying I'm from Huntington Park.
Oh, it's just from Huntington Beach, yeah.
Yeah, I totally could see a young me doing that, or it getting confused by me just saying Huntington. And then I tried to fix it once on Wikipedia.
Okay.
And I went on there, and it's the only time I've tried to edit anything on Wikipedia. And they let it sit the right way for a couple of days. Like I wrote a really dickish bio, you know?
What's a dickish bio?
Well, like I was taking the piss out of myself.
Okay.
You know, there was humor in it. And then they let it stay up for a couple of days. And then I got an email saying that I didn't have the authority of this fact.
Okay. You didn't have the authority on your own life.
I didn't have. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have my own authority to say where I'm from, so I let it be. Okay,
so the closest you went down and surfed though, where the same waves I surf. Well, I used to. It's been a couple of years since I've gotten out there, but on a
what year were
basis.
You born?
84.
84. All right, yeah. So I'm 6 years older than you. Mm-hmm. I remember going down there. You may have been too young. The biggest Huntington Beach memory that I have, we went to the OP Pro.
Oh, yeah.
And the last year, there were riots, like pretty consistently, full-blown riots every year for the OP Pro. Because they would do it on, was it 4th of July or Memorial Day?
It was. It's close to 4th of July every year.
So it used to be
4th of July here in Huntington has the biggest parade this side of the Mississippi. They're known for it and everything like that. It's a very big deal here in Huntington Beach.
And then if you combine that with the OP Pro, it was just a perfect storm of mayhem. I think it must have been 96 or 97. I guess it was 96 because I was 16.
Yeah.
That it just went off.
Yeah, I was around for it. I'm born and raised. We did junior lifeguards. I was probably in junior lifeguards at that time in 96, actually. And know all about it. And then for many, many years, they wouldn't do any events on aside from the OP Pro. They tore it back. It shut down the beach for a while. For a long time.
How violent and crazy it got.
And then it wasn't until recently, just in the last about 5 years, we've actually gotten concerts back out on the beach and stuff. It's been really cool.
And I would assume nowadays it's a little more mellow.
Well, they try and keep it more mellow, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was another ride on 4th of July. That was just in 2012. But there was some.
Was there?
Yeah, there were some kids, pushing over porta potties because they couldn't get into the bars and stuff. So.
Right.
Which was also there's a comedic element to it too. So it wasn't too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Another thing about Huntington that I found funny when I was reading that we cleared the air now that wasn't Huntington Beach, but there in the first movie that I saw you in and became familiar with was Can't Hardly Wait.
Right.
And the high school that everyone attended.
Huntington, was it Huntington High?
It was Huntington High, which is Huntington High is here in Huntington Beach, California. And my wife is a third or fourth generation going to this school. The school's been there as long as Huntington Beach has been here. And it's the prestigious high school here. And I just found it funny that when I was putting the dots together that, thought you were born here, and then we're in one of your biggest movies of the 90s was had Huntington High School.
At your high school.
Yeah.
But there is. I was looking on the thing that you sent the email. The connection with my brother.
Yeah. Oh, that
really
brings us
cool.
to another segment. That brings us to another segment. I'm creating this segment. I've found that Well, I'll just ask you. Do you know Brooks Wackerman?
I don't know if I personally do. The name sounds really familiar. He's a musician, right?
Yes. He is the drummer in our band, Avenged Sevenfold. But before this, he
played with Aaron.
He played with your brother, Aaron. He told me this. So I found that I need to create a 3 degrees of Brooks Wackerman like they did with Kevin Bacon, because every time I have a guest, without even using his contacts, they're like,
somehow he's connected some way. Got it.
It's amazing. So yeah, he said that he did back, in the 90s, he was on a session with your brother for a record he was putting together, and Brooks specifically wanted to know, do you know if your brother Aaron is ever going to release that record?
So if it was in the 90s, I'm going to assume it was when his Capitol deal, when he had a development deal at Capitol for a little bit, and he wrote a lot of songs and recorded a lot of them in a guest house out in Woodland Hills when we were living at the time. I'm wondering if Brooks went to the Woodland Hills house to record, because there's a couple of albums. There's a couple albums that my brother has done that there's two that he's fully released that you can get on iTunes, and then there's a countless amount of songs that I wish that he would release that I don't know if he ever. Once he moves on from whatever he was doing previously musically, he doesn't ever want to go back to it, and he thinks the previous stuff is, so that's where he sings in it. But I think those songs are easily still applicable. They're just very different from what he's doing now.
Well, next time you talk to Aaron, do us a favor and ask him if he remembers Brooks Wackerman playing on his songs.
Absolutely. Do we know how many? Did he do the whole? He must have done.
He did more. One session. It was more than one session, I believe.
Yeah, he must have.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can even get those tracks for him.
That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm sure Brooks would love to hear those too.
I bet he's still got them.
So speaking of music in the family too, so your brother's musician, songwriter, everything like that.
Yep.
And you played the bass player of the band, The Wonders, in that thing you do.
Yeah.
I grew up watching that movie as well, loved it and everything like that. Great film and really cool concept. And then I actually didn't realize that you actually were a bass player until very recently. Were you a bass player before you got that role? Was that part of getting that role? How did that work out?
I would never say that I'm a bass player.
Okay.
Because bass, can you show me a bass line and can I do it? And if I practice the bass and bring my finger strength back, can I play a relatively complicated bass line? Yes. I could never write that bass line. I don't have the bass player's ear for what a bass is needed in a song.
Well, didn't you know you don't actually need that to be in a band? I mean, I'm living proof right here.
So, but you write your own bass lines. Do you write your own bass lines?
Yeah, I do.
So you're a bass player, Like bass it's a very, very specific part of a song. It's like it's as important as any other element. I would say though, as far as the song goes, it's even more important than a guitar.
Depending on the genre too, absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different things. And it's kind of it's what I always say, that it's the glue between the drums and the guitar. It's playing the notes while helping along with the rhythm.
And it carries the melody very, like the melody can't have anything to tie into without the bass line. An amazing bass line floors me, like how they came up with that within that. Like, this is your progression.
Yeah.
And this is your melody. How did you come up with that bass line?
One of the ones you mentioned in our promo that we were doing at the beginning of this was Paul McCartney, who I think is one of the all-time greats at mastering that specific idea. He was the one.
It's crazy.
You got a chord here, and you got the main notes, and he's playing the secondary and thirds throughout it and everything like that, and just coming up with this brilliant bass line.
And you don't even notice it. Like, a bass line is not, very rarely, unless you do like a Jane's Addiction song, when you listen back to old Jane's Addiction, vast majority of their big hits they would start with the bass line. They'd lead with the first few bars would be the bass line. And my brother was saying, well, that means he wrote this song.
I mean, it more often than not, I will say, yes, that does happen. But I mean, there's sometimes you got another guy in the band who really likes the bass line tune. Maybe he wrote the song and was like, hey, let's do this.
But very, very rarely will the bass line be the thing that the audience is humming along to themselves.
Absolutely.
Yet it's such a deep, important part of the song. Like,
so did you start? So You obviously have have knowledge of what the bass is supposed to do and all these things. Like, did you have a passion for music before you got into acting? Or again, I go back to that thing you do. Not to harp on it, but was that something that you did? You already were playing bass or dabbling in music, and then that role came, or was it the other way around?
I was playing like I had a bass and I played it all the time. I wasn't any good at it. I was 16 or something like that, 16 or 17. I was back then when we were doing that thing you do, like speed metal was my jam,
Right
but
on.
like weird mathematics speed metal,
Yeah.
So mostly guitar oriented, like power chords and all your right hand.
Yeah,
like
fast
weird
picking
shit with
stuff.
your right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say I'm a musician now. I still don't know what I'm doing as far as theory goes, I don't know any chords. Like I know chords, but I don't know.
Yeah, you know what they're called.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what you're doing. You're just picking it up and going.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a knowing all that stuff is kind of overrated. I think. I know minimal theory.
I have so
and
much
I just
respect
do this.
for it too.
Oh, absolutely.
I have
It's just
so much
a lot of
respect for
studying,
it.
but it's also a cool thing when you can just pick it up and go and just kind of let it happen too. I think that actually leads to a lot of great songwriting without the theory and stuff.
The thing that I'm always awed by with like true musician friends of mine, when they have all of that theory knowledge, but it doesn't get in the way of their creative songwriting.
That's
they're still writing songs from just the feel and the sound of it. But when they're done, they can say, yeah, that's what I do. I do this and I jump to the seventh and blah, 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 whatever the fuck those terms are.
I like that you've heard the terms, though.
I've heard the terms because they've told me to do them. And I'm just like,
So you
show me.
Yeah, I saw not too long ago you got together with the rest of the, well, maybe not the rest of the cast, but most of the cast from that thing you do.
Everybody but Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we couldn't get Steve. Steve's on. Even when we were shooting that thing you do, I think he's never moved from Kentucky.
Wow.
I think he has managed to, which I have a lot of respect for. He's never moved to Los Angeles, California, New York, as far as I know. Maybe he has, but I've always known.
Even with all that filming and everything.
Yeah, I think I may be wrong, but I'm under the impression that he's always had his farm out in Kentucky and
that's incredible.
Always done his work as a satellite, like come in when it's time to work and then gone back home to the farm, driven his John Deere around.
That's incredible.
So
that
we couldn't get him off the farm.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Not for that. And what
get him off the farm.
What was that? What was the reason for that reuniting? And just to hang, or like it looked like you guys were all dressed up for something?
There was God, what was the name of the? There was a guy that stand-up comedian that does a touring music show. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll get you the name of it before we jump off. But he had reached out to it. He came up with the idea to have us as that night's musical guest. Like he does this touring comedy act, and then every night he has a musical guest come up because he's a musician. The people in his act are musicians. So he had this idea, we should have the Wonders come on, and that will be the musical guest for the night.
That's right. On the marquee, did he spell it? Did he spell it the original way with the Oneaters?
I don't know. I think it was top secret. I don't even think there was a marquee.
Oh, okay.
Because we were just we came in early. He did his act. I think he started making fun of the song, the do 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 do, And then as soon as he did that, we ran out and told him to not steal our music or some shit like that.
That's hilarious.
But it was fun seeing the guys. Seeing Tom Everett Scott has always been lovely, really good guy, and Jonathan Sheck has always been super kind. So it was good. It was good to hang out with them.
Was that like one of the first times you've seen him in a while? Do you guys get together fairly often, or is it just kind of in passing? Is that someone you call, those guys you kind of pick up the phone and call every once in a while, or?
every once in a while we'll touch base. We'll see each other. Our relationship is more as far as me with them. I'll see them out occasionally, you know, and it's always with love.
Yeah.
But we're not, like, we're all family guys now.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
we all have kids. And
how old are your kids?
My kid's 20.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, he's 20 years old. 20 years old. Yeah. Do you have kids?
I have one child. Yeah, he's gonna be 3 here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting into good stuff now.
I know, man. It's gnarly. I love it, but you know, there's some times when I don't.
Full sentences. We're doing full sentences by now.
Oh yeah. He has full,
right?
Not sentences, man.
Yeah.
The kid's got an imagination. He tells me full stories already now. It's crazy.
That's my favorite part of those early years. And I've been talking to other friends of mine that have young toddlers, like. Before we have screwed them up as parents and ruined their incredible outlook of the world, where they're still containing that, but their brain chemistry is still kind of tweaked out, so everything they experience must feel like an acid trip.
Oh, absolutely. And, like, I want to join in on that trip. That's a great way you pointed it. I want to get in on that trip.
Because the shit they say and the way they see the world is just wild.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's insane. So you mentioned we just got off on some of the other guys that you did the movie with, and you know, speaking of music and stuff, you were also in Empire Records, another great movie that I revere, and another one that's got some music in it, right?
Music, and music oriented.
Yeah.
Yep. A little bit of music and guar.
Yeah. Right on. So I wanted to ask, kind of already covered it with that thing you do, but you had some other great cast members on those movies, Empire and Can't Hardly Wait, who have gone on now to do, you know, great things. Seth Green, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Liv Tyler, all these people, and you know,
Renee Zellweger's crushing it.
Yep, there you go.
Yep.
Do you still have a lot of contact with these people? I mean, you guys were all at a relative age at this time when you were doing the movie. Did you guys have a connection that way on the set, or you know, was it just kind of a mutual respect and then kind of went on your way?
So Empire, that Can't Hardly Wait was the way the movie was structured. Although we were all in, like when you sit and watch the movie, it seems like we're all at the house having this party together. Mm-hmm. Everybody had their own movie going on, you know, like the movie that Seth Green and Lauren Ambrose were in. I think I saw Lauren on set maybe for a week. The two of us worked together for about a week. Her and Seth worked together for about a week. I never worked with Seth. I don't think Seth and I ever had a scene together.
Okay.
Peter and I had a couple of days, so we developed a close relationship, but we had worked together right before as well. But that movie, the way that movie, there's all these separate films within the film. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't that same sort of tightness on the set. Lovely and fun, but not like this cohesive group.
Gotcha.
Empire was, though. We were all very close on Empire. Yeah. And
did that friendship that you guys gained on that set, did that continue? Do you guys still have that relationship, or is it just, you know, time
I think
passes?
It's still there. Like Johnny Whitworth and I talk, and you know, we went to the movies the other day, and Chemo, the guy that made me brownies, that worked at the pizza shop next door. We communicate every once in a while. We were close for a long time, just grew older. The girls I saw Robin recently. I saw Robin Tunney, and it always picks up with that same warmth that we had back in the 90s. And I don't know if it's just my experience, or that's the way that Hollywood is, where when you're working together, it's like, it's a summer camp. You're going, 12 to 16 hours a day, tight quarters, hard work. You see each other 5 days a week, and it lasts for 3 to 6 months, depending on what you're working on. And then when it's over, you cry and you hug each other and you say goodbye.
Okay.
That's kind of been my experience
throughout the okay.
Ever since I was a little kid to even now.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah, I was curious about that whole process because you know, as I have guests on the show, I try the idea is to try and understand, you know, where your life has taken you and you know what those experiences have been over there. And I'm always trying to like it to my experiences and stuff. And I don't know that I necessarily have one like that other than going into making a record, I guess, when we go up to LA and, you know, but the rest of the time I'm in a band with, you know, 5 of my very best friends and we live our lives together still. Yeah, that continues on. So I guess maybe with a producer or somebody like that when we're up in LA, it would be something similar to that.
Yep.
You did mention,
and there are instances. There's groups of people in the Hollywood industry that do pool together and work together a lot. I've been jealous of those guys because it's got to be nice to go from one job to the next with the same group of people. Yeah, but they're rare.
Yeah,
they're not. It's not the common.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So. But you did mention this has been the same way since you were a kid. I didn't realize that you were the same kid from Dutch. It was one of my all-time heroes, Al Bundy, a.k.a. Ed O'Neill.
He's my hero too, man.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
That dude is.
I've heard nothing but great stories about it. I've never had the pleasure. Special. But I've heard nothing but great stories out, you know, behind the scenes of what an incredible person he is. And, you know, as I said, I didn't really realize you were a child actor. I mean, obviously, a lot of the movies that we've already covered here, you were young, but not a child like you were in Dutch. Was this your first main role? I mean, is this...
That was the first. Yeah, that was the first starring role. I had a really small part in that movie, Defending Your Life.
Okay.
The Meryl Streeps and Albert Brooks.
Okay.
Really, really small part. But the Dutch was the first, like, responsibility, you know.
Yeah, and so that brings, before you even get in those two roles, were you already in acting school? Were you doing something like this? Were you just kind of discovered? I mean, where was your passion in this in becoming the actor that you are?
So I think the way it happened is I grew up in LA, living in Huntington Park and Bellflower, the school districts. My parents didn't want me going to the public schools, so my mom taught me at home.
Okay.
It was a combination of where we were living, and also they were very religious. So it's like this weird combination of
what religion? What
New Age,
Baptist, okay.
Evangelical. You know. So it was a combination of them kind of being kind of hippies, but also being hardcore Christians. They didn't want me in the school systems. So she home taught my brother, my sister, and I.
Okay.
And then at first I was doing gymnastics. That's like how I got out of the house, how I had a social life. My brother was doing his piano. My sister was doing dance.
Okay.
And I was okay at gymnastics, but it wasn't.
What was I mean, now we can't just graze over gymnastics. I got to know, like, wearing the whole leotard, everything. I mean, like, are you on the rings? Are you on the horse?
I was on all of that.
You're on all of it.
I was all of that. Yep. And we would go around. We would do national competitions and stuff like that. I was on one of the best teams in the United States.
Wow.
But I was maybe 5th on that team.
I mean, 5th still nothing to see. I didn't even make your top 5 on bass players a second ago, man.
I will remind you, it was the top 10.
That's right.
Take 5 more.
Oh, don't remind me of that shit.
But no, when we did nationals at the level that I was at when I stopped doing it, I was like 14. I think I came in 14th. You're not doing anything at 14th.
Okay.
And I was too tall, and that was as good as I was going to get, you know? So my mom started having me audition for commercials and stuff like that. And then I remember I took a summer off from gymnastics and I went and I did commercial auditions, and I got lucky. I got really lucky with it, and I went back to gymnastics, and my coach, he had won a gold medal. He was a gold medalist. He was from the 80-something games. He was an American hero, Peter Vidmar. Like, the dude was the best.
Okay.
And he took me into his office, and he said, dude, go do what you're doing, because I was the best in the world, and I'm coaching you.
Oh, shit. Now that's sage advice right there, though. You know, I mean, it's funny, but it's also. He was just like,
at first, I thought he was just trying to get rid of me. But when I thought back on that, I was like, wow. All right, yeah, you know, I ain't going to the Olympics. I'm not gonna be the best. You know, go make some money. But
do you remember what your first commercial was that you landed?
I think it was either a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi commercial.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Michael Jackson was in it.
You don't think? If you don't remember, that could be a problem.
It's around the same time frame.
Oh, shit. Did not know this conversation was going to go into that dark world of childhood acting.
When you were a child actor in the early 90s and you didn't get invited to Wonderland, it was hard, but now I feel grateful that he didn't love me.
Yeah, you know? yeah. You had to. At the time, you were a little
I felt a little left out.
Yeah,
you know. But now
now in the long run, you know, you didn't peak at that time. You know, that's the other thing. It's like you peak in school. You know that
you never know the plan that is set out for you. Everything happens for a reason.
This is true. So it's funny though, because then you had another run with Ed O'Neill on the reboot of what was that show? Dragnet. That's right.
Yeah, Dragnet. Yeah, Ed is dope. Ed is fantastic. He on the first day of shooting Dutch, if not the first day, very early on, he called me into his trailer. And I was bright-eyed, you know. It was a John Hughes movie. Like, it was crazy that I was doing this. And Ed was at the top of his fame. He was doing Married with Children was the #1 show on TV. And he called me into his trailer to have lunch with him. And he sat me down and he said, you know, look, they're going to treat you different. They're going to bend over backwards to make you happy. And none of it means anything. It's all fake. You're not the most important person here. Like, this is a team effort. Every single person here is just as important as you are. This is a collaborative art form, and don't ever forget it. And very, very awesome dude.
Yeah, that's great advice right there, man.
It's great. Yeah. You know, do you know Mondo Posters? You know that
I saw you very excitedly unwrapping one recently on your Instagram.
Which one was I?
I didn't. You were just excited. I think I just saw the opening. I don't know that I saw which poster it was.
I think they did that Mondo. That was for a vinyl cover.
That was a vinyl. That's right. Yes, it was. Yeah. It was.
So this isn't a Mondo poster, but this artist Matty Tubin painted a Dutch poster with a very limited run, and somebody stumbled across it and sent me the link, and I jumped on it and I bought it. I bought the last one out in the wild, and then I do have a bead on where I can go visit Ed as he's finishing up Modern Family. So I reached out to Matt, the artist, and he's going to send me another copy of it. It's so rad. It's like us in that town car. Yeah. That car with the ring. The license plate that he made is so great, and it's got E.G. Daly and Ari Myers, the two prostitutes that we pick up hanging outside the window. I think I know one of those posters. It's something very similar that was circulated when the movie was coming out and everything like that. Like, yeah. Yeah. It's rad. So I'm gonna go bring. Who ended up with the ring? Copy of that to Ed. Who ended up with the ring? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what's his name? God, who played my dick dad?
Oh, I don't
What was
recall.
his name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
If I wasn't recording with a different angle right now with my phone because I'm too cheap to buy a GoPro yet, I'd go buy MTB.
And those are cheap. GoPros are cheap.
I know they are, but I just realized I should have had one.
now.
I know. I just looked at it. I was like, oh, I don't want to spend that much money. I'm just starting this fucking show out. Give me a break. I ain't got a budget yet.
I was gonna say that he had the imprint in his forehead, but I couldn't remember his name, so the joke fell flat.
It's all good.
The joke fell flat.
Well, for any of those watching or listening to this right now, you got to go check out Dutch. I mean, it's been a long time for me since I've seen the film, but
it's still pretty fun. I think it's still pretty fun. It's
Absolutely.
a good. It's like there's those old John Hughes movies, and it's kind of like John Hughes decided to take Uncle Buck and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and squish them together.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it right there. Perfect.
Yeah,
I mean, well,
good old John
you had
Hughes.
you had the insight on that, right? That's rad, though. Yeah. So, you mentioned you're gonna hopefully get together with Ed on that poster that you're getting. And that. I have a similar. Well, not as cool because I never met Ed and wasn't in a movie with him. But I do have a Polk High jersey that was signed by Ed O'Neill that I won at a silent auction a few months ago.
Is it Illinois? Where did he go to?
It was Polk.
Is it his college jersey or is it it's high school?
No,
so
it's the Polk High from the show Married with Children where he would.
Got it.
It's a fictional jersey that.
Got it.
But it says Polk High on it. It's signed by him where he scored 4 touchdowns in one game. Yeah, I'm kind of a big nerd fan of Married with Children, so.
Because he was a big football player. He'll tell these in the makeup trailers. That's some of the favorite stories of his.
So he really was Al Bundy. Like Al Bundy was just Ed O'Neill with the knob turned up just a little bit.
The story that I have heard from people close that he was very successful with college football, high school and college football. And then he moved to New York he wanted to be an actor. And the stories that I've heard, he was like flipping burgers, and I think maybe I've heard driving a dump truck to support himself while he was an understudy on a David Mamet play. And then he got the audition for Married with Children, and he said, fuck it, and he left New York to go audition for that. And
next thing you know, he's Al fucking Bundy.
But he was like from what I've heard, he was a struggling New York actor trying to work his way up the theater scene.
Yeah. I've heard that he's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know.
He does know how to kick some ass.
Yeah. Did you ever have to worry about that?
And that dude is big. His hands are like...
He looks huge. I mean, I'm looking at him on TV and he looks big.
Massive.
Yeah. Did you ever...
I would not...
Did you ever roll with him? So you stay fit, obviously. This whole time I'm watching you eat these healthy treats and everything. Like
these are those mandarins. These things have you ever had one of those? Like the oranges, they're big. And they come out at this time of year at the grocery stores. Okay. I think they're called sumo mandarins. Okay. They will break your bank, man. Each one is like $3, but they're so good. And they peel really easy. What makes them so good?
Is it like the Seinfeld episode where George has that fruit for the first time and his ED is gone?
It is that.
I'm not saying that you have a problem with that, Ethan. I'm just saying.
I do have a problem with it. I just bought 3 of them. It was $12.95. It's insane. This is my second one today. That's $6 worth of oranges.
I mean, you're just throwing down. You're just throwing down. Well, I mean, you got to live that van life,
I'm saving a lot of money in the van.
You can afford to buy some more.
I can afford some oranges.
Fantastic. So no, I noticed that you obviously are staying fit. Is that for? And you got the beard right now. Are both of those for a role right now that you're doing, or do you just try and stay fit in general?
Fit. That's being fit. So I'm sober now. I've been sober for 2020. So almost 9 years.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
The fit thing, it helps. Like I figured out that any drinking and using that I did was an attempt to slow down the brain, the thinking, you know? So if I get up in the morning and I exhaust myself physically, then the rest of the day my brain is pretty chill.
Gotcha.
So that's part of it. And then also the job I'm doing now, Grace and Frankie, I had just done a film called The Devil's Candy right before we started this. And for that one, he's like a hesher. He's got long hair and
I saw
super skinny.
I saw some stuff about that. That was really what brought me to this question, because I was like, you see your back doing like a pull up or some shit like that, or painting on the fucking wall. And there's just like this ripped fucking back going on. I'm like, that's not right. That he had to do some crazy shit to get that.
For that, I just got really skinny. I just got, because I wanted that, like, nowadays you got two different types of heshers. You got your Danzig hesher, and then you've got like your Slayer Megadeth hesher, who's just like skin and bones. Yeah. So I wanted him to be skin and bones version. But I did that right before doing the job that I'm doing now. Okay. And the only real direction I've gotten on this job now was to put on some weight. So I was like, okay. Yeah. Yeah, just start curling, yeah. So, are you one of these actors that will go out and hire a personal trainer to get you where your body wants to be, a dietitian or something like that? Or you kind of just do it all yourself? Am I wealthy? Is that what you're asking?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how this works.
Tax bracket I'm in? Man.
I guess in a roundabout way. Maybe I should ask here. No, I mean, no. But sometimes I thought it was the maybe it's the studio that give you a budget on that. Sometimes I don't really know how that works.
So for those guys, like, what's the actor that just posted a picture of him? He's doing one of those Marvel things. Okay. He's a Indian actor. What's his name? He just made quite a stir because he posted a picture of his body that he's been working on. For a new Marvel thing. And he's like, normally he's not. He's the skinny, underdog character. And then he posted this picture with his shirt off, and he's got, tits the size of Bermuda, and he's all veins. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. So when people do that, or when you see actors like doing Captain America or whatever, what they don't, I think, first of all, there's a lot of pharmaceuticals involved.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's it's funny. I was
has to be.
Of course, and it's so funny because everyone's just like, "Oh, wow, that's a crazy regimen." I'm like, "That's more than a crazy regimen." Let me tell you that.
That's within that regimen, things are going in your butt.
Yeah, and absolutely. And the funny thing is, in the acting industry, everyone looks the other way about it in a certain realm. Like it's out there, but it's not illegal, so there's nothing they can do. Like, but if an athlete,
it's all through a doctor.
Or even when it's
I personally think, why are athletes still not allowed to do this?
I agree.
I don't get it.
Thank you. I agree 1,000% on this. If everyone's doing it safely and has the doctors and doing everything like that, I mean, the technology has grown quite a bit since the early '80s when people were fucking.
We're not getting it off of cadavers anymore.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's now it's. I want to see the best.
They're all taking
the freaks.
It anyway.
I want to see. I hate to use the word. Yeah, and I hate to use the word freaks, but for a lack of better term, I want to see the freaks of nature out there that can do superhuman shit.
Yep.
And I want to be entertained by that.
Even if you're taking these drugs, you can't just take them and then watch 90 Day Fiance and expect to excel. You still need to do work.
Oh, absolutely. It's not.
It's still an insane amount of work. It's just your results are much better.
Yeah.
And then we bring in this new argument of gender in sports.
Oh, yeah.
And letting people that have been misgendered at birth play in a category
that's a hard one to touch. That's a hard one to touch. But I will say, who did it
not
best?
If you let everybody fucking take drugs.
See, this guy's got a solution. Everybody
shoot shit up their butt.
Double E's got a double E. Ethan's got a perfect solution for everyone. Just let him do it.
Because
did you see that
too much of that shit, it's gonna have a negative impact.
Yeah.
If you take too much testosterone, your heart's gonna fucking explode when you're doing the 100-meter, and you're not gonna.
That again brings you to, you don't want to advocate it for kids, but it's not, people are still allowed to drink and smoke pot and everything.
We don't want kids to be as good as they can be. Let them.
Well, I mean, that's got to fuck with them. I mean, at a young age, if they're not fully developed, that's got to fuck with them. Wait till they're fully developed.
Anyway, the world's burning. We're gonna die. Fucking take steroids.
I'll drink to that. I'm actually, you mentioned that you've been clean and sober for 9 years now. You said. Was that, did you have a problem? I don't know how that transition just happened, but did you have a problem before the world was burning?
Take a look at the guy I just briefly became, and that will answer. Yes, I tended to be extreme.
Yeah.
In my life choices. I did.
Was it more? Was there
a lot?
Opiates. Okay, that was your choice. Okay. Was drinking kind of a big thing, or was it kind of a byproduct?
It was. I mean, yes, it was. It wasn't the main issue, but it was a daily. It was daily, and it would start in the morning. Drinking was the great equalizer.
Mm-hmm. As you said, it kind of numbed the mind a little bit, so that you didn't have all those thoughts going at a constant rate. Yeah,
and it's drinking is socially acceptable. So if you can't, for work or whatever other reasons, you can't smoke some black tar in a pipe because you're among people that would frown on it. You can have
you can't just do that. You can't do that at office break around the water. Hey, you got any black tar over here? Fantastic. Oh yeah. So
drinking is drinking is powerful, man. It's powerful shit. It's powerful stuff. I'm glad to see that now marijuana is becoming socially and criminally acceptable. Absolutely. Because it's a far less dangerous substance than alcohol.
Oh, 1,000%. I was just turned on to these beers, quote unquote beers. They're just called brews, and they're like hi-fi hops and stuff, and they have like 5 milligrams of THC. They're sparkling water, and they have some CBD in it too. And they're a great replacement, honestly. It's something super mellow. I mean, you don't advocate abusing them as well, and driving under the influence.
People are gonna fucking abuse it, though. They're gonna,
of course. But there's nothing that's gonna change
anything.
That. No, nothing's gonna change that. There's no amount that's gonna change the willpower of a human being to do whatever the fuck they want anyway. So. And
I'm the guy that I would advocate for legalization of all illicit substances because of that. Like people, by us making it illegal, we have created this like perfect storm for the illicit drug business to be hyper successful. We have created the supply and demand that they feed off of.
Absolutely.
And if you legalize it, the price drops, and suddenly
the country gets richer too, because it's now they can tax it all.
And people are not. If you're gonna smoke heroin, you're gonna smoke heroin.
Yeah, it's not. It's illegal. I'm not gonna do it.
It's legal. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, just because it's legal. You're not gonna
made it legal, people aren't gonna flood out.
That's true. Absolutely.
Mainlining black tar. Like you educate people. They're gonna make the choices they're gonna make regardless. I think one of the important things to do, though, is to have more education on how similar pharmaceuticals are to illicit drugs. Mm-hmm. People don't realize Adderall and cocaine is the fucking same.
Yeah.
Just Adderall is far better. It lasts longer. Fuck, that shit's amazing.
No, it is. It's it's great for a long night of partying.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's cocaine that you only have to take twice a night.
Yeah, and you can do it in pill form. You don't have to fuck up your nose.
That's right. You sure don't. But if you put it up your butt, it does hit you a lot faster.
Well, that usually that can involve a friend though with a straw that has to help you out with that though. So.
Well, you don't have to grind it before you put it up your butt.
Oh, yeah, suppository. All right, we got to the bottom of that, Ethan. We figured out how.
No pun intended. Hey. Come here, get up here.
Oh, man. All right, so
I'm still a big advocate for spreading the word that the butthole is the human's largest mucous membrane. Because your nose is a mucous membrane, that's why we throw drugs up it, so it gets into your blood supply faster. But your butthole is also.
Yeah, I don't know. Membrane. You know, I've gone on from traveling in Japan. I've turned myself on to the bidets. That was a big step. You know, about 10 years ago.
I've never used one. How are they? Are they
fantastic? Good? Fantastic.
I've never used one.
I highly recommend them. I say this.
I mean, I shit and shower in the same place. Like,
you basically you've got it. You know, but that's the whole thing though. Like you think about it, you're wiping. You're taking something dry and mashing it and getting it up. You know, you're getting clean. You know, it's fine. It's all fine, Danny. But imagine how much better it is.
Wet wipes. I need wet wipes.
Okay.
I've graduated in my old age to wet wipes.
Well, the next step is getting yourself a bidet. You could get it on. They have the seats that sit on virtually any toilet. You just need it.
They sit on any others, like battery operated.
You could get a seat that sits right on top of there. And
where does the water come from? You pour in your own
the same water line that comes in out of your well. I wouldn't know how it would work in the van.
But
the same pipe that comes in, it's just it hooks on there, then hooks onto the next thing, and it's not that crazy these days to get one. I'll send you a link. How about that?
Send me a link because I do have a house outside the van.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
We have numerous toilets at that house, so I'll
send you a link of the easy one, and then I'll send you like the Toto, the one that talks to you, tells you what's coming out of you.
I want a Toto.
Yeah, you want a Toto. Everyone wants a Toto.
Toto is like that's the sign that you've made it.
Yeah, you got it. It's all hooked up to your iPad, and it's next level.
And then you get to think of the Picaros every time you use the bathroom. You're like, that was a really good studio musician band, and they were all related.
Yeah, fantastic fucking song, Africa.
I always think of the band. Always think whenever I see Toto toilets, I'm like, Steve Lukather is a great guitar player.
Now I got to take a shit. All right, but so another thing I want to get back to some of your acting career. There was, for me, being out on the road, and anyone who's been in a band or been out on the road for a long period of time, you're on a bus and you pull up to a truck stop, and you're in this truck stop, fueling up overnight. It's usually middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Is there a rule number 1, no number 2 rule?
Yes, on the buses.
Brown bag it?
On the buses, yes, or you got to wait till the truck stops, let someone know or anything like that. Unless it's more recent. Now we've got these star coaches out here. We've moved up to the league where they actually do have mashers. So we're good now.
Mashers.
Yeah, wow. They have these little things that clean it up for you. It's game changing. It's game changing.
Yeah.
But you do the truck stops for those reasons. For the number 2s, middle of the night. Mm-hmm. Also, you're still up. You just got off stage only a couple hours ago. You're still up, and
you're still amped. Yep.
Still amped. Go in, grab some snacks from the truck stop, and peruse the DVDs. So I was out one night perusing the DVDs. This must have been sometime mid 2000s, and I come across a DVD called Masters of Horror.
Oh, nice!
Which was a Showtime. No, it was only like the first season, I want to say, and it had and it was a Showtime series. It might have
only did one season.
It might have been. So we throw it on. We get in there. I'm with my lead singer at the time, still M Shadows, and we throw on, and we find the very first episode you're in with Moonface.
Yeah.
And it's
and with from Don Cascarelli, is that how you pronounce his last name? The director of Phantasm. Yeah, from Phantasm.
Yeah.
And Bubba Hotep.
Yes.
And John dies in the end. Yeah, that guy's rad.
Yeah. Incredible. I mean, I guess you'd call it a short film. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's about an hour long. I would say is the episode.
It was
45
one of
minutes to an hour.
That may be one of the early anthology series, which are now really popular, like with Black Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any others right now, but I know there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it was that, I guess you'd call that an anthology.
Yeah, it's a season.
Each episode is a standalone.
Yeah, standalone. Yeah. So this one is a standalone. You play a survivalist.
Yep. Or a white nationalist.
White nationalist.
Nazi. We call him.
Not the most lovable character, but you played him well, and we get into it, and the first thing that struck me is right off the bat, your love interest in it. You guys are on your very first date, and she offers, "You want to get out of here?" After you tell her about, like, you go off about how the whole world is a shitstorm, all this kind of stuff, and she's like, "Are you trying to impress me?" I really turn
her on.
Yeah, you really turn her on with your perspective.
I read her the front page of Stormfront. She's like, "You want to get out of here?"
And then the next thing you know, you're married. You guys are living out in the fucking woods.
Yeah.
She gets in a car accident.
Indoctrination, motherfucker.
Yeah. She gets in a fucking car accident and finds fucking this guy Moonface, this serial killer, just keeps picking up people off the fucking road. And
you're really selling this
product. Oh, dude, I'm a huge horror movie fan, and this is like one of my favorite things because one of the biggest reasons I love horror movies is when they are so absurd. And like this one isn't. It's not the most absurd, don't get me wrong, but there's some...
It's just absurd enough.
Yeah, there's just and the guy's Moonface...
It's a Showtime made-for-TV horror
movie. You said it perfectly right there, my friend. Yeah, so this guy's Moonface, and you see him, you're like, oh, he's like a monster, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, he's just like a weird-looking dude that just keeps picking people off the side of the road and chopping them up in his fucking basement or some shit. And then there's this old guy that she's stuck in there.
He chops me up, doesn't he? Make a skin bag out of me?
She does.
She chops me up.
So your wife, your wife. Later on in the movie, you actually you rape her. Let's just say
I do, right? But we're married.
But you're married, so what is it then? I don't think we can say that these days, 2020.
Still a law. Can you believe that?
That's fucked up.
Some states, it's still impossible for a husband to rape his wife.
I did not know that was a thing. I didn't even know that was a thing at any time in history. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, that got dark. Let's bring it back to a little bit of some...
Back to Moonface.
Back to Moonface. So, this movie we see, and this was, honestly, for me, the first introduction I'd seen of you in any kind of role like this, where it was, it's a horror movie, kind of an intense character.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Do you remember filming this very much? Do you remember working with Dawn?
I was using a lot.
Okay. Okay then.
No, I do.
On to the next segment. No.
We shot Phantasm. When I was growing up, Phantasm was my favorite horror movie. I love that. I've seen it countless times. It's that same sort of completely absurd.
Yeah.
Just what the fuck is going on type of horror movie. So to work with him was immediate, and to know that the tall man was also in this. And I wanted, what was her name? Bree. Was it Bree? The girl that played my wife.
Yeah, she's been in some other stuff. I recognize her.
Yeah,
she's been.
She's done a lot of other. Also, I wonder. We're gonna keep this going, but I'm gonna walk over to this toilet.
Nice.
That coffee is.
This is great. This is great. I love this van life. This is real. Maybe I'm
gonna keep the ear going.
Okay, cool.
Can you can hear me still?
Oh, right? I could hear everything. I think our listeners are about to hear everything as well. Hopefully here. So go on. Let's continue this conversation about Moonface. And
it takes a while to get this started because now I'm in my 40s. So the suspense is killing y'all.
It really is. So it's the incident off a mountain road.
Incident on and off a mountain road, or is it just off a mountain road?
I think it's just off. It's off a mountain road.
Off.
You know what? I am on my computer. I don't know why I didn't think of Googling this shit before.
I remember we did that. I think we did that right before I went to go start doing Brotherhood, which would mean it was sort of my first real serious, non-comedic stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been, since it was before that Brotherhood stuff. It would have been the first non-teenagery, you know.
Yeah, no, and you know, we were watching it, and you know, just like, oh, dude, that's you know, not to diminish your career or anything here either, but you know, watching it like, hey, that's the guy from fucking that thing you do. You know, and then, it's Bree Turner. Bree Turner. You were right with the first name.
Turner.
Bree Turner
There we go.
is the is your wife in that movie. Yeah, so you know, you see that role.
My dog
for the
is
first
so
time.
needy. My dog is so needy that.
Oh my God! I heard that completely
door.
wrong, Ethan. You're taking a piss right now, and you said your dog is so needy. I heard my dong is so meaty. I was like, did he just tell me his dong is so fucking meaty? I mean, it was a little odd at first when you go in to take a piss.
Coming out of my mouth. I'm Irish. You'll never hear those words strung together out of my mouth.
Oh, your wife's a lucky woman.
The red-bearded curse. Oh yeah.
How long have you been together with your wife?
Oh well, we got married. We got first we got married in 2005. And then we got divorced in 2011.
Okay.
And then we got remarried in 2015.
Okay. Wow.
So if you remove those 3 years, because we got together and we were together for about a year and a half before we got remarried. So if you remove those 3 years of divorce, we've been together 15 years.
Wow. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Are you married?
I am. I've been.
Yeah. How long have you been married?
7 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Known her since I was actually 12 years old. We did junior lifeguards together. We haven't been dating that long.
From the same area, right?
Yeah, Huntington Beach, yeah.
Rad.
Right here. So let's continue with some of the roles, though. We covered like the first time in the serious horror movie kind of thing, and then, as you mentioned before, there was the artist one that more recently. But you've been like, if you go through your IMDb, there's a shit ton of these more serious roles since then and everything like that. And then, or then you just did Sneaky Pete, which was just finished its third season, I believe, on Amazon.
I think it's dead now.
Oh, okay.
I think it's all done.
It's all done. Third season was the last one.
Dead.
Okay.
I think it's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do. I love that. I love working with Giovanni. I love that character because he's like a nice mixture of both. He's a complete idiot, but he's also serious. I like those drama comedies.
Yeah. It's a great show.
Where you can. Yeah, I really liked doing that. I would have stayed on that.
And it was Bryan Cranston. Yeah, it was Bryan Cranston that created that, right?
Yep.
Or one of the crew.
And he showed up. I think I was there 3 times that he came to set to just scope in. That dude is so rad. He rolled in with like the shortest cargo shorts that I've ever seen in my life and rocking Birkenstocks, you know? It was like midnight. And he's just like, hey, whatevs? Yeah.
So he just showed up like in Malcolm in the Middle character. The dad from Malcolm.
Basically. Yeah, basically. Hair all over the place.
Did not come as what was the big show? Breaking Bad didn't come as that character.
Kind of like the before what was the drug dealer's guy's name? What was it? Walter White.
Walter White.
So
yeah.
Before
White.
the birth of Walter White, when he was just a physics teacher, that's kind of what he looked like.
Yeah.
Which I have the most respect for.
Yeah. That's incredible. So now you're currently filming for the next show. Is that
Grace and Frankie?
Grace and Frankie.
Yep, we're doing one more of those.
Cool.
Which is it's crazy. The 4 cast members that I get to hang out with on that one: the Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Martin Sheen, Sam Waterston. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And not just them as actors, but who they have been as far as their activism goes throughout their whole lives.
I'm not super familiar with that. You fill me in on that.
Martin Sheen. So Martin Sheen, he ever since he did Apocalypse Now, he's been heavily involved in taking a stance. Like he turned down his Academy Award nomination for Apocalypse because anti-war. Like
Okay.
he didn't want to celebrate it. I'm not going. I don't want that to be celebrated. And he's also very political. Sam Waterston is really big environmentalist. Specifically, the stuff he does with Oceana.
Okay.
And Jane, what she's doing now, getting arrested every Friday for climate change. Pretty dope.
That is rad.
She's rad.
Yeah, no,
she's
that's
rad.
really cool.
Yeah.
And you're getting along really well with everyone on the cast then for that show. And,
Yeah, man. They're amazing people.
Yeah.
And they're all in their 80s. I don't know how they keep working that hard.
Yeah, that's insane.
Still going, still wanting to go.
Yeah, I'm 35. I'm starting to feel my knees now. I'm like, fuck, man.
I know they work 16-hour days,
That's
and
so
they do it with a smile.
That's so nice. That's something to look up to. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good people.
So we're
All
doing this.
really good people.
A lot of people will wonder why we're doing this on Skype because you are just in Los Angeles filming right now, right?
Yeah. We start. She's just staring at me.
Yeah, I see that.
Get up here. Get up here.
She wants to be a part of it.
Sit down. There you go.
Good
Lay your head
dog.
down.
That's a good looking dog.
Lay your
Man.
head down. I would have come down. I want to go down to South Beaches again. It's lovely down there.
Well, if you ever
just-
make it down, just you got my number now. Hit me.
I
up.
would love that.
I could take you out surfing. You're probably a much better surfer than me, but we could go out and try it out.
I'm really not that good. I'm really bad at it.
Neither am I. That's the beauty about
I haven't-
surfing.
The last time I got in the water, I think I crawled out with stitches. And how do you cut yourself?
No,
on
I know.
water?
I was like, well, you must have hit the fin, right? You must have hit one of your fins.
I did.
Yeah, okay.
I did.
That makes
I did.
sense. That makes sense. All right, man.
It's scary though when you're down like those waves.
They'll
It
hold
could
you
only
down.
be a 3-foot wave, but when you're laying on your stomach, and
It
it's
looks a
3
little
feet
different.
above your,
it looks a little different.
Fucking scary.
Yeah, it
It's
can
scary
be.
shit.
It's fun though too. All right, man. Well,
Yeah, I would definitely hit you up on that.
yeah, hit me up next time you're in Huntington. Obviously,
Absolutely.
coming from LA can be a little difficult sometimes. Some of the people who are around here are like, oh, LA or Huntington Beach, they're right next to each other. Like, yeah, it's 40 miles, but it's like 2 hours plus in traffic because LA traffic sucks.
It's a day. It's a day.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's a day.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. But it's
Yeah.
you got to block out your day.
Well, next time you're in Huntington, as I said, hit me up and we'll hang.
Absolutely.
Where can the listeners and viewers find some more of Ethan Embry, man?
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah. Well, where can they find some more of you?
Oh, where?
I was like, I don't think he quite heard that question.
Where?
Where can they go to find more Ethan Embry? Your social medias, what you got coming up on the horizon?
Keep your eyes peeled for a urban camouflage Sprinter van.
Okay.
It looks like shit from the outside. The hood is all black. It's got bird shit all over it.
Very stealth.
But inside, it's inside.
Yeah. Well, we got the tour. It's looking nice, and we even got to see or hear, I should say, firsthand how the bathroom facility works. Oh yeah. Show me the yoga tent. Oh, look at
this
that!
is like our little.
Oh wow, look at that! You got your guitar pedals and you got music set up, man.
Yeah, I got my guitar. I brought my guitar pedals. Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's swanky, man. That's glamping right there.
It's not bad, right?
No, not bad at all. So everyone will be on the lookout. I'll bet. It's not bad, man. I love when I'm out on the road living in our bus and stuff like that. It's fantastic.
Knowing that it's not permanent makes a big difference.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show. Hope to talk to you soon again, man. Very soon. And everyone, go check out some more of Ethan Embry wherever you can find him on all the socials. You just have Ethan Embry, I imagine, right? On everything.
Yeah, Embry Ethan. Yeah. If you search that, something with
not very hard to find.
Pop up.
Not very hard to find. All right, guys. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
See you, man.